Hi, I'm Dr. Fresh, and I have some very important message for you and your family. There's an epidemic going on right now with opioid drug use and ultimately drug abuse, which can also lead to heroin abuse. There's many people, you could be sitting next to them at work, they could be at home, it could be you yourself, and we're suffering with addiction. There's 3 reasons why that happens. One is when that person first brings that pill home, they have no idea what's in that bottle or what it's capable of. 2, they know what's in the bottle, and that becomes more important than their pain. Or 3, nobody ever told them. I wish we could solve all 3 of those problems, but we could definitely make a dent in 2 of them and hopefully, eventually, quickly, get through to the people that the pill has become more important than the problem. How this all starts out is that we start treating symptoms instead of what's really causing the symptom. When you take an opioid to cover up a symptom or a pain, all you're doing is temporarily delaying the pain. The cause of the problem is still there, and that's not going to change unless you have it addressed. I'd just like to take a moment to think about what happens when somebody brings a prescription home. Not only are they putting themselves in jeopardy, but many pill cabinets are raided by kids or teens, and that ends up leading to bad problems for them as well. Once that opioid becomes your number 1 priority, everything in life becomes number 2 or worse. You can lose it. So let's work together to try to educate people on what health really is, which is your brain brings life to your body through your spine. If your spine puts pressure on a nerve, that can cause pain. No opioid is going to change that. It's just going to delay that you feel it. The way to restore health is by removing the interference from the brain and the nervous system, taking pressure off the nerve. As the pressure comes off the nerve, there's no more need for the pain, and the body can heal and repair how it's designed, because health comes from inside. It does not come from the outside in. So please, if you see anybody hurting or suffering, let them know that chiropractic has incredible success with gentle, safe, non-drug techniques to get people better and avoid the devastating effects of possibly becoming addicted to these drugs. Let me just update you on a campaign that just got started against opioid drugs. I apologize for reading off here, but it's important. Calls have come from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, the Food and Drug Administration, and the Institute of Medicine for a shift away from opioid use toward non-pharmacological approaches to address chronic pain. I'm going to do 2 more bullet points and they're worth it. Trust me. Overdose deaths involving prescription opioids have quadrupled since 1999, as have sales of these prescription drugs. From 1999 to 2014, more than 165,000 people, 3 times the U.S. military deaths during the 20 years of the Vietnam War, have died in the U.S. from overdoses related to prescription opioids. And I think it's very important that I mention right here, that does not include the people who switch over to heroin once they're addicted to opioids and die from heroin abuse. I don't know about you guys, but I know of people that are dying every month. I have one friend who has had 2 or 3 people die last week because of overdose. And you probably know somebody too. And when everybody starts to know somebody who's dying of a problem, it's a real problem. And I just want to recap this again because it's so important. Don't let the biggest problem be that we don't tell people. Because addiction starts way before the person is struggling with the addiction. It starts when they use something they don't need to use in the first place, or they're around something they shouldn't be around in the first place. I'm going to read one more stat, and then I want to give you an offer on how we can help people together. Today, at least half of all U.S. opioid overdose deaths involve a prescription opioid. In 2014, more than 14,000 people died from overdoses involving these drugs, with the most commonly overdosed opioids, and I'm saying these so you can hear these names: methadone, oxycodone, such as Oxycontin, hydrocodone. Those are the drugs that in that study that resulted in death. And once again, that does not include heroin numbers, which are heavily tied to this problem. So here's the gift. I'm offering for you to have people come into the office so we can give them a consultation to find out if their spine is causing their pain. If it is, we're going to be able to help them without the use of drugs. The other opportunity that's available is make sure that you talk to people just about the devastating effects of using opioids, that they have other alternatives available, and at our office, or we can come to your office or your home, and we can speak to you about how the body works, how health works, why opioids are so devastating, and the fact that in many cases they're not even necessary, and that health can be restored from the inside out by restoring health to the spine and getting pressure off the brain and nervous system. I hope this message finds you well. I hope you know where this message is coming from. We really need to help people. Have a good day. Talk to somebody, please.